Good morning, everyone. I am Jack Madrid, and welcome to Industry Beacon, where we feature the industry's technology titans who are shaping our future. We are not just talking about success stories, we are diving deep into their hearts and minds to see what drives them. As we decode the future, one digital dialogue at a time. This morning, we will be discussing the business landscape of the IT-BPM sector in the European market. And here with us today is a special guest, the President of the European Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines, and also the Managing Director of Bosch Philippines, Paulo Duarte. Good morning, Paulo. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, Jack. Welcome to your Beacon industry, and thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. Paulo, let's start off with maybe hearing from you. How will you describe the current business environment in the Philippines, specifically for European countries?
We are very optimistic with regards to the business perspectives with Europe. I will go back a little bit what this administration did with regards to the significant reforms that were put in place since 2022. I will take some examples: Public Service Act, Retail Liberalization Act, Foreign Investment Act, full foreign ownership for renewable energy projects. This somehow captured the eye of foreign investors, and European investors, they also were aware. We might also look into the Executive Order 18 with regards to the green lane for specific investments, which can be also related to the digital economy, to specific infrastructures that the country is needing. So from that angle, we see the perspectives quite positive.
It's good to hear that we're getting some good visibility and some positive feedback with the progress made by the current administration. So my next question, Paulo, is which specific industries do you see that we continue to need to grow and still need more attention? And what about IT-BPM in particular? How is that landscape for countries in the EU?
Going back on our optimisms for the perspectives for European investors and businessmen and women here in the Philippines, we continue to be optimistic also on the IT-BPM sector. Just going back on the size of the population, 150 million inhabitants with a 25 median age. When European Union is 45, so it's 20 years average less.
Youngest country in Asia.
The youngest country in Asia. And we also look into the English proficiency. That are good assets that will help the IT-BPM industry to develop further. So we see this as a good opportunity. We also recognize the size of the IT-BPM industry in the country. Last year was around 35 to 36 billion US dollars. So probably together with electronics, the largest pillar of the Philippine economy, 1.7 million employees in the industry. So this is definitely a sector that can be among the different sectors where Europe is looking at or where Philippines needs to develop. We understand this is a critical element. We also understand that 60% of these 1.7 million are into mid-high complex projects, meaning there is capacity in the country to merge, and we will be talking later probably in the introduction of artificial intelligence, what artificial intelligence will represent for the IT-BPM industry. So we understand that the country itself and the appetite for adoption of all these new technologies that are incoming will definitely put IT-BPM in the forefront of the Philippine industries.
That's good to hear. Indeed, more and more of the work that our employees do in IT-BPM are more high complexity type work, including digital, including healthcare, and even banking financial services are growing. But I'm happy that the EU is recognizing the Philippines more. We've been known more as a destination for North American companies. So aside from the youth and the skill sets, how would you see European countries comparing the Philippines versus other IT-BPM destinations? And what other factors make it an attractive destination for European countries?
I think that's important to recognize the potential of the Philippines and to promote the potential of Philippines for the IT-BPM. I think on that area, the European Chamber of Commerce is quite active in making the bridge and getting the awareness. We also need to take in consideration the efforts, again, of the current administration with regards to promote Philippines as an investment destination. With regards to Europe, President Marcos has been already in his term 3 times in Europe. He has been in Brussels, he has been in Switzerland, in Davos, and most recently, last March, he was in Germany and also in Czech Republic, promoting Philippines as an investment destination, looking at the potential of the country, which I would say for many foreign investors, including in Europe, is not known. And the promotion, I think it's probably the key area where we all need to collaborate and to advocate and promote. There is a tailwind in preparation, which is it's related to the free trade agreement.
Yes.
The free trade agreement that has been announced by President von der Leyen when she visited Philippines in July last year. There is renewed interest to resume the negotiations. The official announcement between governments was done last March during the visit of DTI Secretary Pascual. And the first round of negotiations was 2 weeks ago, so on the 14th. So the perspectives are positive. This also enables the country to open the relationship with Europe. So it's a new tailwind and can be a game changer for ways to attract more trade and foreign investment to the country. Currently, from 100% investments from the European Union in ASEAN, only 4% come to the Philippines. So I think there is renewed opportunity to increase the amount of investment, and this across sectors. We talk about agriculture, garments, we talk about digital economy, green economy, circular economy, ESG. All these areas will benefit from the free trade agreement. And I think this can really bring the relationship between Philippines and the European Union to a next level, to a higher level than compared what we have today.
A very positive development, and with the passing of this free trade agreement, we will see the visibility of the Philippines as an investment destination increase even more. But Paulo, let's switch gears. You wear 2 hats here in the Philippines. You are also the head of Bosch Philippines, who has been present in the Philippines for quite some time. Can you tell our audience a little bit about how Bosch is playing its role in raising visibility for the country?
Yes, Bosch is in the country. In 2026, we will be celebrating 100 years in the Philippines. And we established our first legal entity 30 years ago. So it's beginning of 2025. So it's almost 30 years. So we have a quite comprehensive presence in the country across our multiple domains. So if I can describe, we have distribution side in the area of automotive, with whom we have good collaboration with strong partners in the country. We have the power tool division from the consumer segment side. We have household appliances. We have building technologies. We also operate in safety and security systems. And we are also looking now into different domains, new domains, which are related to the new technologies with regards to the Industry 4.0. So we understand Philippines needs to leapfrog its current industrial footprint, and the adoption of new technologies can bring Philippines to the next level compared to its peers in the region. So integration of Industry 4.0 technologies, advanced manufacturing, complex manufacturing. These are all possibilities that the country has and has the potential to develop, especially when we talk about 150 million inhabitants with the 25 median age in average. So I think these are good assets that needs to be developed, and Bosch is also operating on this area. We have also, on the IT-BPM, we have also a structure here. We employ 380 associates here in BGC, in our main office. And we also look into the new technologies in the adopting these technologies in our business processes. So the integration of automation as a service, robotic automation processes, these are also part of our segment. It's still small, but we see high potential to expand, not only for Filipino customers, but also across the region and even to export these services to other countries.
New technologies, new products, new functions, higher value tasks will need more talent. We have the demographic advantage, but we need to work on the talent. Do you have any comments, Paulo, on talent development initiatives here in the country so we can protect our market share?
As you mentioned, Jack, we have the demographic advantage in the Philippines. And I think this is an opportunity that cannot be missed. If we miss this opportunity, this window of embracing in one side the young population, on the other side the emerging new technologies, if we don't take advantage, then I think we will miss opportunities for generations. So that's why it's very important to articulate the curriculums that are being made in the school. So this is an articulation that requests Department of Education to be active, requests also TESDA, Technical Education and Skills Development Authority in the country, to articulate their curriculums, to be able to upskill and reskill the current labor force to be able to operate such technologies. And this is across industries. I just gave the example of the Industry 4.0, but also in the IT-BPM, we see the importance of this articulation to be made. The private sector should also play a role. It's not just the government should do everything and the private sector is just waiting. So the possibilities that we have in this dual apprenticeship program, these are things that the private sector can also play a role by making this integration between the schools and what's happening on the private sector, on the ground, so that can equip the students with a better understanding about those technologies that probably, or for sure, will enhance the faster adoption of such technologies across industries. Can be IT-BPM, but we can go across multiple other technologies or other industries that will integrate such new technologies.
That's a brilliant example of, a European model that we should adopt. The importance of on-the-job training and internships prior to, full employment. In fact, when IBPAP met with the Department of Education Secretary Angara, one of the topics that was brought up was really increasing the number of minimum internship or immersion hours for senior high school students. So I'm glad that you also mentioned this, and I know that you are meeting with the TESDA Director General very soon, Paulo, on this topic.
Yes, and we have on the agenda the real execution of such programs, because it can't stay just on the high level. It really needs to be brought down, because the goal is to equip the students or the labor force, the Filipino labor force, with higher skill setting. And this cannot be only defined at high level. It really needs to go to execution. And our expectations from our discussions, both Department of Education, but also with TESDA, is that we push these areas to be executed. We can't talk forever, because we have a certain time urgency. Mm-hmm. And if we miss this window of opportunities, it will take some time to go back. And we should not forget that Philippines is in direct competition with other ASEAN neighborhood countries. And the competition is fierce. So we should not lose time. And we need to articulate all these educational programs across the different areas and ask and get the support from the private sector.
That's a really important point, and we're going to go back to that point after we take this quick break. Industry Beacon will be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Industry Beacon here on BNC. Let's continue our discussion with Paulo Duarte. So Paulo, the next question I want to tackle is going back to IT-BPM, is how does the sector fit into the ECCP's strategic vision for the years ahead? And are there any specific areas of IT-BPM that the ECCP plans to focus on, and just to really strengthen, the business ties with between the EU and the Philippines?
I think that the integration of artificial intelligence and automation will play a decisive role in the IT-BPM industry. It will help, these technologies will help the improvement of the efficiency, creating more speeds, creating better service quality. And I think that are areas that we are very bullish. And we understand that AI will play a decisive role, not only in the Philippines, but across Southeast Asia. There is, according to specific studies from, and I quote from Kearney, ADBI and Kearney, they estimate AI to get a relevance of $1 trillion. Thereof, close to 10% will come to the Philippines. So that's a big importance of the adoption of the AI, how to contribute for the development of the country, wherein IT-BPM plays a fundamental role.
Certainly, our industry brought one of the very first waves of technology into the country decades back, and we actually see AI as a platform that will augment the role of the IT-BPM agent. On a related note, Europe is known for being the first region in the world to put together a comprehensive AI law. So what are your thoughts, Paulo, as president of ECCP, on whether the Philippines, what can we as a country do more to regulate artificial intelligence, and in what specific areas should we consider putting in some regulations?
We understand that was a need in Europe to do this regulation. We can imagine that this regulation could also happen in other countries, for example, the Philippines. But I will go back and understand how artificial intelligence is relevant, because some people are scared about AI. But AI is putting people at the core, at the center, and using business ethics when applying AI, understanding that we need to have a certain regulatory framework around AI. We understand this can be positive, but we have not made yet a clear position in the topic, because it's an emerging technology that is coming to the country. But we understand that the business values, the business ethics play a fundamental role on the adoption of AI. And that AI will need to put the people at the center. It's very important. And in the end, if we have responsible practices in adopting AI, then the benefits for all it's positive. It's not that it's going to take jobs away. This will create even more opportunities if used properly. So I think the regulatory framework might be necessary to define the rules of the game, like Europe has adopted, and eventually this might also come to the Philippines. We understood, and ECCP was also invited by DTI for the National Artificial Intelligence Strategic Roadmap that was announced last July. At the same time with the Center for Artificial Intelligence Research. So these are steps that are probably going in that direction. So our position is still not fundamentally yes must, but we foresee that this might be needed in the near future as the adoption of artificial intelligence, it's following its path.
Yeah, at the end of the day, AI is really all about data. And that data must be structured, must be organized, and as you said, must be used responsibly and ethically. A very important topic indeed. Unfortunately, we have come to the end of our show, and I want to thank our guest, Paulo Duarte, for sharing all your insights in the business landscape of the IT-BPM sector from the perspective of the European market. And that's it for today's show. I'm Jack Madrid. Thank you so much to our valued guest, Paulo Duarte, for sharing your perspectives with us. Catch us again tomorrow for more enlightening discussions on Industry Beacon. You can catch BNC on Free TV Channel 31 and on Cignal Channel 24. Thank you for watching BNC, the Billionario News Channel, always on top.